So universities are not really only for training, for teaching and producing highly qualified people. That's extremely important. But it's not only that. They have to do much more. They have to produce those people who, with knowledge, they're inquisitive enough really to think in terms of where we come from, but where we want to go in 50 years. I started talking about the 50 years of freedom. Now looking at 50 years ahead of us, and to help us to say, how to reclaim our identity and our ability to run our lives in an inclusive way, being part of the human race, but being able to integrate ourselves as much as we can to be part of this human race in 50 years' time. That's what the universities have to help us to do, to produce people who think in those terms. This is the only continent which, for instance, we still have the multiplicity of institutional framework in terms of how do we run democracies. This is the only continent which has a diversity of, I don't know what, we don't communicate. And I'm talking of cell phone, that is true, but there are no roads which communicate these countries. There are no, even in terms of, of airlines, there are only maybe three airlines which are relatively, African, if you want to say, in terms of touching most of, we just don't communicate. We don't trade among ourselves. Sometime back I was told it was 4% of trade was intra-Africa. Someone is talking about 8% today. What is it? It's just insignificant. It doesn't make sense. We trade with everybody else, but we don't trade about us within ourselves. We communicate with the rest of the world. We don't communicate among ourselves. And we don't have a clear project to say, as Africans, this is where we want to go. Ask whoever you want, heads of state. Nonsense. They don't know. And many of them, they don't have even a project for their own country, let alone to think of Africa. We have pieces and bits of policies, etc., but strategy, first and foremost, vision, very clear vision of where we go, and there it doesn't exist. So this is the continent we are training our young people to take over and to lead our future, our continent. So UCT is in the midst of this. So far we are very happy that we are among the 200 best universities in the world. We need to keep that. It's extremely important that UCT remains there. And it's because of us as South Africa, but more importantly, it's because of the whole continent. Somewhere, we have to be represented by an institution which people don't blink when they are to think, where is a university which matches with the 21st century in Africa? They have clearly to say UCT. It's like a historic responsibility. We have to keep our institution where it is in terms of excellence in teaching, in research, in innovation. So we thank you because you are friends of UCT. Some of you have been already with us for years. You have held us together to keep that quality of excellence we still represent. Some of you are newcomers, or others even may be potential. Whoever you are, just the fact that you accepted to come here, it's so important to us. You took us seriously. We know that you are very important people, business people who have made a mark in this country, and you are making a mark also in the continent. And for you, 2 hours of your time is very precious. So the fact that you decided to come is because you take us seriously. we want to thank you for your contribution. Your contribution, you may think that it's only because it's a financial contribution for the institution to keep itself. But I want to ask you also for other kind of contribution. In the different industries where you are, you come across the knowledge of what we really as a country we require if we are to be a winning country. So we would like you to talk to us, to tell us what we have been doing so far. Of course, we have these good examples of these young people. But in many other fields, are we doing right? Are we doing the right thing? Should we rethink the way we are doing our teaching and training? What are the gaps in the kind of skills which we do not develop for young people to really, not only to be professionals, but to be innovators wherever they are? It's important that our friends, yes, they continue to give us resources, but more importantly, they give us their thinking, their vision, their contribution in terms of how do we make of this institution really relevant to South Africa, relevant to Africa, and of course, to meet all the standards which other universities in other parts of the world are doing. We will never be able to compete, Prof, as you said, in terms of paying them. No problem. That's not where we have to be concerned. But it's extremely important that UCT continue to give some of the lights in terms of solutions of global challenges like HIV/AIDS, for instance. Thank God another university of this country has already produced one of the hopes for us to have a microbicide to protect women from HIV. But we are working on the vaccine. We at UCT, we are very, very advanced in terms of vaccine. We hope one day we'll be able to tell the world that from Africa, from this corner of the globe, there's hope because we're able to find a solution to a global health challenge. Eventually, one of the most challenging fronts we have ever had as humankind. For that, we need really your support. We need to continue to have your support. You know, teaching, any university can teach, okay? But to be able to do that very, very, you know, top at the edge of research, that's where the challenge is. And that's where we are going to continue to make ourselves part of the network of these other. Prof, you put it very, very, very clearly and very right. Why people have to continue to want to come to UCT. He explained it. I'm not going to repeat that. But my point is, our challenge as an institution is first and foremost really to give our young people, those thousands of young people who come in and out, to give them the best of what they can have as tools to get out of that institution with the heads up, knowing that in any part of the world they can be shoulder to shoulder to talk to other young people. That's the best challenge we have. It's to them, that they should never come out of UCT feeling that they are minor or they are lower in terms of standards to any other young people who comes from a tertiary institution. Our challenge is to keep, yes, if we are able to do that, is to keep our academic staff, to attract and to keep our academic staff, so that they feel proud to be in that institution, to feel that they are valued, and to feel that as an institution, but as a country, we know that they are that bridge I was talking about, that bridge which allow us to be in the 21st century while there are those who are still in 18th century. Our challenge is to, more than just the publications which comes out of our research, is that our research becomes a reference in terms of knowledge generation, which comes from the continent of Africa, which comes from the heads and minds of young Africans, brilliant young Africans, and they can match whatever is it of research which comes from other universities. So that's an institution you love. That's the institution you are associated with. We hope that with this just of gathering to give you a little bit of information of what we are doing, and also to give you, more importantly, our thank you. Thank you. Thank you indeed for that. You know, this thing of philanthropy, you go in every institution, in every tertiary institution you go, and then you find names. We have to begin this also. We need to have the names of our African philanthropists who are contributing to our institution. Because you know, most of what is there, it's examples of the past, isn't it? But we have very good friends of us who are product of this new dispensation, which we will be extremely proud to have your names in the walls of our institution to say, no, I'm really serious, because that's the kind of transformation which shows how far we have gone. How far we have gone. And we know that you do it because you take pride. And we want to continue to deserve your pride in being associated with us. So please let us know. Tell us what you want us to do better. Tell us even where we are doing yes, but or where we are not doing. What are the gaps you feel that we should be able to fill? But take ownership. Run with us. Thank you.